Alrighty, hello everybody. The Level Up Network is back with another reaction time. This time, Greg is joined by Dean. Dean, how are you? AKA the Beast NJ.
I'm good, man. How you doing?
I'm doing fantastic. I just finished watching The Flash, and that will be what we are discussing today, everyone. I know we covered Better
Yeah.
Call Saul and The Walking Dead with me and Drew in the past, but now me and Dean will be covering your superhero shows, kind of in the vein of what Beast Watch had going there. So, yeah, we had The Flash. It was season 1, episode. I'm blanking on the episode number, actually.
13?
I want to say 13. That's what I was going to go with, but I don't like the number 13. But yeah, we'll keep going. This one was called The Nuclear Man, and it focused around Firestorm, aka Professor mixed with Ronnie, mixed with apparently 17 other
Yeah.
human beings. Yeah, no, but what did we think about the episode, Dean?
I loved it, dude. I thought it was really good. I kind of liked that it focused a little bit more on somebody else's situation. Just for an episode, it was kind of nice. Just to like, it's good to make us. I feel like it's good to make us miss the Flash a little bit. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
What did you
100%.
feel about it?
No, 100%. I liked it overall. Now I'm going to start off. My one gripe with this episode was already I'm
Okay.
just so sick of Iris and Barry. Just squash it.
Yes.
It needs to be done, especially with is it Linda is the other reporter's name now that he's dating. A lot of hot scenes
I
with Grant
think.
Gustin here. So my man crush is way up there now with him. Little shirtless scenes with him. They had a little altercation where they were about to have sex. He gets called to go to Flash work, which he calls police business.
Right.
But yeah, a bunch of stuff like that. I really like Linda better than Iris. I think she compliments Barry a lot better. And Iris is just get her off the show at this point. How do you feel about
I
Iris?
really don't like either of them all that much, dude.
Oh,
Iris, I'm totally with you. I would prefer Linda if I have to pick one, but yeah, Iris is. But dude, she blew it. She had her chance, and now she's being such a girl about things. No offense, girls, but she's being a girl. And she's like totally just like wants what she can't have now
Yeah.
because Barry is moving on.
Yeah.
I did like that scene where he puts her on the spot and he's kind of like, just so you know, I don't feel that way about you.
Yeah.
I was
I
like,
love it.
oh my God.
Feeling squashed, and she kind of bites her lip at the end of it, and she's like, "You son of a beach." But yeah, so we
Yeah.
had that. That was the one of these many subplots of this episode. We had another subplot which I really enjoyed, which was Cisco and Papa Joe, and they were going and investigating the
Yes.
murder scene of where Barry's mom was killed. So they went into there. Papa Joe not hired, but asked Cisco for some help there. They went back with a bunch of technology, and they found some blood on the wall throughout the episode, which we find out at the end. P.S. Everybody, I should have mentioned this at the beginning. Me and Drew did this the other day, but
Spoilers.
spoilers for The Flash,
Yeah,
all
big ones.
cast, and I'm assuming we'll dive into the comics here too, so just in case you haven't read the comics and blah, blah, blah. But Flash spoilers, probably some Arrow spoilers too, so just in case you haven't watched those. We found the blood on the wall, and it was Barry's blood from the future! What did we think?
So here's the thing. I probably not as surprised as everybody else. I watched this usually with my girlfriend on Tuesday nights, and she's like, as soon as Cisco and Joe get into the house, I looked over at her and I said, "This is Barry as an adult." Because if we remember back, I don't know how many episodes back, but we see Dr. Wells talking about like, show me the future, and then he's like freaking out. He's like, there has to be a future with the Flash in it.
Yeah.
So we know that like the element of time travel exists in this iteration.
Yeah.
So yeah, as soon as I found that out, I was like, well, I think I do think it's Dr. Wells still as the Reverse Flash.
Yeah.
I think he, for whatever reason, went back to kill Barry's mom, maybe for future vendetta, I don't know, and I think adult Barry went back in time with him to try to fight him off to stop it from happening.
Yeah, 100%. I agree with you
Right.
up into the tooth and nail there. Now, I'm thinking that all of this time Harrison Wells is going back. I think he's ultimately there to help Barry, but I think him going back and killing the mom, I think that was the trigger to get him to become the Flash.
Yeah, maybe I don't. Yeah, I know he does seem to be like really concerned with like pushing Barry like to the max and like, which is confusing because like I don't know, like do we not like this guy or like is he helping him be the best Flash or like it's weird.
Yeah.
It's conflicting.
Yeah, it's 100% weird. I do like the whole cast overall. Of course, we got to see a lot of the other cast members throughout this episode. We got to see Caitlin, Dr. Snow, deal with
Hmm.
Ronnie and his multiple personalities in this episode, which we find out ultimately a little bit of the backstory of the professor, that during the explosion of the nuclear fusion reactor, Ronnie got merged with this scientist, professor of sorts, and their personalities keep overtaking one another. The professor more so than Ronnie. We find out that he is starting a chain reaction, and the firestorm, all of his, what do they call them now? Not mutants. What is the word they use for them? Metahumans. There we
Metahumans.
go. I'm like, I knew there's a hyphen there. And yeah, so they're starting a chain reaction. He's going to become nuclear. So they go on this vendetta to save him. How did you feel about Ronnie and Kate's relationship? The way they explored that this episode.
I liked Ronnie's whole thing. I'm confused a little bit by that because when we first ran into Firestorm, we saw like it seemed like there was a little bit more Ronnie present
Mm-hmm.
than
Yeah.
now. It seems
Yeah.
like it's just all the professor.
Yeah.
I liked him, dude. He's cool. I'm again big spoilers. He's presumably dead now.
Yeah.
He exploded.
Yeah.
So Firestorm is actually like a hero in the DC universe. So
Yeah.
I'm hoping that Ronnie's salvaged from this because I like the kid that plays Ronnie too, and
He is actually
his special effects look pretty dope.
Yeah, no, he is actually Stephen Amell, who plays the Green Arrow, another CW hit show. That's his little brother Robbie. So that's Ronnie is casting. I know their faces look so similar, and nobody pieces it together, but I know them from
As soon as you said it, dude.
Yeah. Yeah, I know.
That's insane.
Yeah, he's actually his little brother. I wonder if that's how he got him the job, but I know them from their
Probably.
old Disney Channel days. That's how I also know Dr. Snow. She was a big Disney Channel star. But I like the way they handled
I remember
the
Dr. Snow.
Yeah.
She was a plant girl in
Yeah. Yep. Superhero High School, something like that. That was awesome.
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah. So unfortunately, like you said, he does explode. We see Caitlin have to deal with that as Barry picks her up and takes her away from the explosion. Another great special effects shot with the explosion happening,
Yeah.
him running away. You always said it in Beast Watch, and I completely agree with you that the special effects in the show are always on point.
It's nuts. I even think, Arrow's been running for, what are we in the third season right now?
Yeah. Well, yeah.
And I love that show dearly, but like the something, I don't know what they made, like just wanted to put a bigger budget behind the Flash because like their CGI is like pretty damn good.
Yeah, it's so awesome. Also wanted to point out I was so happy they didn't go the route with this episode, even though we had the subplots that didn't work, like the Iris and Barry one, that we didn't have the villain subplot. We didn't have the villain of the week. They totally took that out of there, which I think totally helped the episode. A big problem we both have with Gotham is they try to cram so much in with so many characters, and I'm glad they just took that out. I wouldn't have wanted a villain in this episode. I think it would have overcrowded it. How did you feel about that? Did you miss it?
No, yeah, I totally agree with you. I think that's kind of what I was trying to say in the beginning of this. Is like it was nice that it was like not so focused on the Flash and a villain. It was like a totally sidestep. Like let's check out a little bit more about the murder of his mother and like what's going on with Caitlin and Ronnie. Like that was really cool. They're what they're doing is fleshing out the other characters.
Yeah.
Which is something television has like totally lost anymore.
Yeah.
So I love.
Yeah, especially in this show too, where I think all the side characters, all the secondary people, they're so important, and I didn't think I was going to care for them as much as I did the Flash, because in the Arrow they kind of do it with Felicity and Diggle and stuff, but even in Arrow, Arsenal I feel like is such a throwaway character. I feel like he's there just to be there, and I feel like Roy's story kind of got thrown about all over the place, but I really love, especially. Was it last week's episode? I think it was last week's episode where we had Caitlin and Barry do drunken karaoke. They sang
it was last week.
That was so awesome. I just love those humanizing moments that he is a superhero and he does save little old ladies. It's always a little old lady, by the way. Cisco's
it's always a little. I love that. Such a good
line. But yeah, I love that he can save people. He is a superhero, but he's Barry at the end of the day, and they always bring it back to that. How do you feel about the dynamic they have with the superhero changing him back to Barry, all that good stuff?
I love it, dude. I mean, there's really. I hate to sound like such like a Flash like fanboy. Really, I wasn't all that attached to Flash. Like, I'm more of a Marvel guy personally, in case you couldn't tell. But yeah, this show is like really winning me over with the Flash. I love the whole thing. And Cisco, I thought I was gonna hate. I thought he was gonna be super annoying. I laugh out loud at the things Cisco says
all the time.
I'm way more attached to the supporting cast here than I am in Arrow for
Mhm.
sure.
Yeah, 100%. Now, before we go, my overall thoughts on the episode, I thought it was a good one, very solid. The only gripe I had, besides Iris and Barry, was the ending. I knew it was ultimately leading up to a demise for Ronnie, but number one, do we think he's dead? And then number two, I just thought it was so abrupt the way they ended it. It just ended clearly the explosion, and then we don't know what happens. I'm assuming they're going to pick it up, but my
Yeah.
biggest fear is what do we think is going to happen next with Ronnie and Caitlin?
I think we haven't seen the last of Ronnie. I don't know if there'll be a rush to get back to that storyline. They might want to kind of let it breathe and
Mm-hmm.
let us wonder for a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
It seems like what happened there is the professor is for sure gone. I think. I
Yeah.
think whatever happened to him is done.
Yeah.
But I won't be surprised if we find out that we were left with Ronnie back in his body with the power. So next week's episode looks really interesting, though. They as we see for the previews, they Joe and Cisco tell Barry that it was his blood from the future. So
Yeah.
that's pretty nuts.
And Dr. Wells starts to push him even more to get him to maybe run so fast he time travels. Which I think that's
which is insane.
Yeah, which is totally maniacally insane, but it looks like it's going to be another fun episode. Like you said, I enjoy everything about The Flash. And then we'll also be picking this up tomorrow, everybody. Me and Dean will be back to review other superhero shows, including The Arrow. We might do Gotham. I know Supergirl we're definitely going to be doing when that comes back on. And possibly now we might be doing The Atom if that does become its own thing. And we just got the news that Emily Kinney...
Oh, I don't see how we can't.
Yeah, exactly. We got Emily Kinney, aka Beth, who's going to be playing a female version of the Bug-Eyed Bandit when Felicity and the Atom come visit the Flash in Central City. So I'm excited for that. The best way, of course, to support the Level Up Network is by going to patreon.com/the Level Up Network. You can go there and see all of our perks and tiers and milestones and all that good stuff. Make sure to donate to us there. Of course, go and subscribe to youtube.com/the Level Up Show. Level spelled LVL. And always remember to love us the way we love you, because you guys are awesome sauce. I want to thank Dean for joining me today.
Thank you, sir. My pleasure.
I love you all equally. And always remember to level up.